All right, thank you so much for staying with the Monday Report Town Hall session. David Mwaure Wahiga is still here with us, presidential candidate for the Agano party, and Ruth Mucheru, his running mate, is also with us here in studio talking about the Agano agenda. They're one of the only 4 candidates who've been cleared for presidential race. Let's bring up some of your questions and pose them to them because they are seeking to be your leaders in future. Engineer Lazaro says, Wahiga Mwaure, how are you planning to revive our fragile economy in simple terms?
Trevor, democracy has been defined as a rule of the people, for the people, and by the people. After we have fought corruption, we want to inject more money and government where the people are. And let me make this decision. There was, when the infamous BBI was going on, one of the things that was there, and that was a good proposal, you know, and people agreed that BBI had 6% good, but there was a 40, because even some of the people who opposed, you can see now, they're on the side of BBI. One of the proposals was increase the 85% of the national revenue to the counties. For us, we want to make it 40.
Okay.
But it's not the increase per se that matters. It's the fact that we want every decision. We want government to come to where the people are, not just the money. For us, our emphasis is on government. Decisions on the economy, on the economic situation, actions, steps, where that money will be applied. We want it to start from Muta, Nyumba Kumi, and we want it to be entrenched in the law. It is not the ward reps.
Okay.
It's not the county assembly. It's not the MCA. Because we want to make the people, we want to go back to the cooperative society, you know, concepts. I met them. They were there. They were strong. We want to encourage and increase the circle and the chamas, because there you give people the power in those groups. People have the power to decide. They decide. And when they do that, we will not only improve the economy, we will fight unemployment. By this time, already we have put people on notice. Corruption, ndugu zangu, tunawaomba sana. Kutoka hapa usiimbe tena, hata ile umeiba anza kurudisha. Kwa sababu we shall not pray about this. There will be money coming in. There will be goodwill. Investors will come here. Investors have come to Kenya. And even during the term of this regime, we are told, and it is known that they ran offices in some places. If somebody won a tender, before they got that tender, they reported to some of the people in this regime, and they were told, okay, the requirements are these. Go to an office in a certain building in Upper Hill. Trevor, Kenyans have heard the stories I'm saying. Okay. And they looked at their fellow counterparts, and they took the next plane. Kenyans have wanted, people have wanted to invest in Kenya, but because of the level of corruption, bureaucracy, you know, difficulty in doing business, taxation, even we Kenyans are really being overtaxed. They cannot be able to do that. So that money, when it comes, we take it down there. And when Kenyans decide, and the economic activity, pyrethrum is being grown, the farmers are being paid, they are deciding where the factory will be. My brother, this economy will be phenomenal. Okay. There will be jobs for our children. There will be hope. Our Badilisha concept have to do with bringing hope. Okay. Bringing hope. All right. And we are saying clean, wipe away. Wote waende nyumbani na wale walikuwa nao. Okay. Anywhere. Yeah, and let me bring in Mutu on this. That's a solid proposal, 40% to the counties. This will still be decided by the county assemblies because there's something called a CIDP, County Integrated Development Plan, which ideally it's the people who decide. Okay. But it's not just about the money, because even the counties themselves, as we speak, have a recurrent expenditure of more than 70 to 80%. The rest of the 20% is decided by the CIDP guys. It is never implemented. So how is this? How are you going to change this? And it's the county assembly is something you can't control.
We kill the 2 billion loss per. We kill the 2 billion loss per day. We save 60 million per week. We save 720 billion per year. So I believe we will have, with that approach, we will have money at hand to work with. We'll be able to negotiate from that point.
Okay.
So we just have to deal with the loss, the minimal loss of 2 billion per day for us to ensure that we have money with us.
How many aspirants do you have out there for Agano Party?
Close to 30.
You're fielding in different places?
Yes.
So how will you push your agenda if you're only fielding about 30 people in total? How will you have control over the House? Even if they all win, they'll still be vastly outnumbered.
Well, we will work around that.
Maure.
Let me add and say, you know, Trevor, the fact that the different members of Parliament and Senate are from different parties, it doesn't mean they are of necessity opposition. I believe even the people who will be voted will be people who have not put their hand in the cookie jar, you know. And Trevor, you know, this thing has been very serious. The whole business that we are talking about. These people who've been there have eaten, and have not only eaten, there is a saying, with one side of the sword, but with both. With both, if you understand what I mean. I had an old man who said, awa walikula ng'ombe na kamba yake. That's the problem we have had here in Kenya. So how shall we? I mean, we saw it in 2002. People came from different tribes, different political persuasions. Some were even people in government, but their voices could not be heard. This country is not racking in proposals, in projects. It's goodwill. I'll tell you, they will vote, they will support our motions.
Okay.
They will do that.
Okay. Let's bring up some of the questions that are coming through, and the viewers are sending at Trevor Mbija at Citizen TV Kenya. Use the hashtag Monday Report. Lynette Wasonga says, hi, a president should be known by many people in a nation like Kenya. How and where does he conduct campaigns? Mutua.
This is Lynette.
Yes, your campaign strategy, where people think they haven't seen you.
We have a campaign strategy. We gave it to IBC. In one word, we are fueling our vehicle. Tunaeka mafuta. So wait for us.
So bada mjatoka.
Tunaeka mafuta inajazwa. You see?
57 days of the
you wait,
election.
lazima uwekewe mafuta na ulipe.
Yeah.
Tunaekewa mafuta, tulipe, we drive off.
Let me come in.
57
it couldn't be better. You know what you're going to get from this government?
Yeah.
We have pillars in our manifesto, and one of them is ukweli na uaminifu. They are used. Usawa, uhaki, na upya, newness. So what you are saying here ni ukweli. Kama gari inawekwa mafuta, usiseme niko Mombasa Road, nimeondoka na hujatoka hapa CBD. Yeah. Lakini tumeondoka. I think it's good to say, Kenya are asking, where have you been? Where are your campaigns? And sometimes even when they ask, what experience do you have in leadership? I ask, what leadership are you talking about? What we have to show for the leadership, Trevor, we have had in the past.
Yeah.
Even let me take the current regime that we have had during these last 10 years. When they came in, you remember them in white shirts and maroon, whatever? We saw hope. We saw change. But look, if we have stolen money, if the calf has been eaten with its rope, it is more in this regime than the others. The point I'm making is we have been doing our little way. We are doing our own campaigns, not theirs. You will be surprised, Kenyans, to know that, and it's my estimation because I have been in politics before, I figure out some of these guys have spent probably going on to spending about 5 billion. This thing is expensive. When you are campaigning for 50 billion, I mean 50. Yeah. When you have been campaigning for 4 years, yeah, or when you come back 2 years back, and right now you are flying all over in helicopter, the first question, where did they get the money? For us, you'll be surprised. We have not even used 0.5 of a billion in our campaigns. What is your budget? We are still below the 5 million. Did you hear that? You're below 5 million. We are still 5 million use. It's time now we're asking friends, can you help us fuel this car? Okay. And friends have been fueling us. Okay. So I mean, what you've been seeing, this is the time to listen, Kenyans. This is the time that campaigns have started. Because of what Kenyans have gone through, yeah, one can appreciate they need the entertainment, the big performance we've been seeing. But Kenyans, when you get to the ballot, those are not the people ambao watabadilisha. Tunaongea kuhusu, you are getting the word. Trevor, are you getting that word properly?
Okay.
Badilisha.
But what is your campaign?
We will go out.
Yeah.
We may not make as many trips as they have done. We don't have helicopters.
Yeah.
But if we get an offer, please do give us, and we'll tell Kenyans, hii tumepewa sio yetu.
But you must have a budget, so even if people are contributing.
You're talking about budget. Our budget. Our budget is not more than hata kama imekaa sana, between 50 and 100 million.
Okay, for the entire presidential race.
Ile imebaki na tutashinda na hiyo.
Because it's 56 days to go, even if you have to visit each county per day, that is still 47 days.
Yes.
Which leaves you just about 9 days the polls.
Right.
So you're already running late.
No, we are not running late. You know, these people who are campaigning with our taxes and the money they have stolen.
Okay.
Period. 3/4 of it. So we have not stolen. Where have you been? Where is your leadership? Leadership in what? Wizi, ukulaji, pilfering, stashing our money illegally abroad.
Okay.
Kenyans, let's tell those people who are saying that to tell us something else.
All right.
This time we are changing this nation.
All right, let's bring in some more feedback. I'll try to squeeze in as many of them as I can, though we're running out of time here. Sankai says, can I ask the Agano party leader, how will he handle the issue of water scarcity in some areas in the country? I'll start with you, Mutua. Water scarcity, how will you deal with that?
First of all, get rid of cartels.
Okay.
Because cartel has been a menace in most counties and the CBD, the capital city, because we are seeing tankers all over. It's very unfortunate that you can walk into Moi Avenue, walking into Kenyatta Avenue, there's a mkokoteni with water in Kenyatta Avenue. Why? So that means the current regime or some of the cartels that have been allowed to work are blocking the pipes and blocking the pipes to enable them fill their tanks and walk around and sell the waters in the mtungis. So for us, getting rid of those cartels is going to help us have water in our taps.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. More you want to add on that?
Well, when you asked the question, I smiled. I looked at my running mate because only this afternoon we were looking at the whole issue of water. Nobody is mentioning it, and it's critical. Not to mention about the food security. And we talked about also boreholes. But you had also, and that's when, not just today, the last 2 days, we said we need to increase what is going to the counties. Okay. We talked of 35. When we recover this money, we even see a time during our first term or the second term where what will be going to the county will be 50% or will reach that level. With that kind of money, and you know it's a lot of money, because also we have to deal with corruption at the counties. You know what? It is not that just the national cake that was devolved, but apparently corruption was devolved big time. If we deal with that, even from the counties, we will be able to deal with the issue of water scarcity, the issue of roads, because despite and in spite the infrastructure, one of our experts we are dealing with comes from, I'll mention a place. I know there is Northern Kenya, but I have this particular one who comes from Ukambani, and he reminded us this week, kwanza, unajua, you know, you people, you are saying tumejenga barabara. In Ukambani, we don't have roads. How much more Northern Kenya? Northern Kenya has been ignored. Okay. Our manifesto will have a specific, the northern parts of Kenya, east and west, reference to you. We figure out Northern Kenya will be what will make a difference in the next 10 years in Kenya. Okay. That is where our wealth is hidden. Lakini nitakwambia, I'll go spiritual here. Even Mungu ameficha, kwa sababu kama angeifichua with these guys here, it wouldn't be there. Okay. But Northern Kenya is rich. All right. And it is going to come out during our regime and time. All right, let's get through the next question that's coming through on Twitter here on socials. Let's see what you're asking. J1 Zala says, ask Mucheru, he ran in 2013 and he failed. What gives him confidence that he will make it this time round? And does he have confidence in the IEBC to deliver free and fair and credible elections? 2 questions to you. What makes you think you will win this time? And do you have confidence in the IEBC? Because I'm a man of resolve. I believe in hope. Every dream is varied. And finally, because my mentor, who passed away more than 100 years ago, Abraham Lincoln, he did not only run once in 2013, he ran 13 times, and he became the president. Vision, dreams are important. Kenyans, and it's not about myself. It's because I know what Kenya was in 1967, lending money to the Far East. Right now, Kenya is borrowing from the Far East. And you know, for it to develop, Malaysia, Singapore, and let me just throw this one because I can see you are avoiding it. Malaysia, Singapore, Botswana did not have to grow bang. Marijuana, just as a by the way, to get to where they are.
So you decided?
I just drew that because I can see, Trevor, you really think we can't do it. We will do and just overdo. So Abraham Lincoln did it on the 13th. I'm far away from the 13th, my brother.
Okay.
I'm far away. IEBC, we saw what it did during this mini election. You know, this was a mini election. We even were sent away for, we asked that minutes, but they said we'll give you because we had looked for more signatures and more IDs than the 48. And we had them out there. To the extent, even at the end, they said, you know what, Agano, even the way you have brought your father bunch, you are more, we actually took more. We took more, 18 instead of the 3 counties. They were saying we were less. We saw efficiency, we saw thoroughness. They have explained this issue of the 1 million, but they need to know, they need to be even cleaner than Caesar's wife. We are watching them. And I think what we need to do is wish them goodwill, keep putting them to strict proof, pray many prayers for them. While we were there at Bomas, we understood some have not slept for 3 days because we must have an election. It's important.
All right.
It's not just constitutional. This is divine. This is a moment that is important for Kenya.
All right. Mutua, do you have confidence in the IBC? Considering all the issues that have come up, 1,100 polling stations, not having enough network, more than 1 million people's voters' details are questionable, some of them deceased. Do you have confidence in the IBC?
I'll echo what the 5th has mentioned because the exercise that we last had was very thorough. And very intense. And for this reason, that is why I pick my confidence that they're doing a good job. Chebukati and the team is doing a good job. And I believe Kenyans will get a free and fair, credible election. Let us give them benefit of doubt. I believe it is going to be fair and let the person who wins accept. Let the person who doesn't also accept.
All right.
Let us have peace.
All right.
Yes.
Let's bring up more questions that are coming through here on Twitter as we try and wind up on this conversation. We still have Felix Maru. Says, ask Mwaure what he thinks about Wajakoya's manifesto. Can he work with him? You said I was avoiding it. There it is.
No, my friend. you know, we are still saying we are the team. We are the Badrisha Dream Team. We are not playing up to the gallery. We are not giving Kenyans any loaded gun, my brother. We've seen it. We respect research and we look at it, but we have not run out of ideas. We don't need to play up to the gallery, to give our young people loaded guns, to pay our debts. All we need is let's get back the 6 trillion. Let's close the holes of the 2 billion, and the 2 billion is minimum. Let's take some people to jail. During our first 100 days, we have discussed this. We would like a statement from our immediate outgoing president on what he knows about KEMSA National Youth. We will want from we would want from our deputy president what he knows about from KEMSA, because his side has been saying, telling the side of the former Prime Minister, nyinyi ndio mlikula pesa ya KEMSA. We would like to hear from the former Prime Minister what he knows about National Youth Service na pesa ilienda wapi. By the time you've done that, my brother, by the time you've done that, this nation will be getting back to the track. It's goodwill. We are resolved, we are determined. No victimization. Everybody will have their day. We know We know there are many Kenyans who've been involved in these things not out of choice, but we want to tell them we can get rid corruption out of Kenya. We can start afresh. You can walk to an office, you are served. It is your right. We can be corrupt-free. We can be below 1-0 like Finland and Sweden.
Can you work with Wajakoya?
Well, on my agendas, we can work together. If he subscribes, well, I can work with every Kenyan. Okay. He's a Kenyan. By the way, he's my professional colleague. I'm his senior, though. You know,
I think it's growth important. Of industrial hemp in the country.
To pay debts, my brother, to pay debts, let me put it this way. Are there no other ideas?
Okay.
I am not ready. He wouldn't get my vote. Okay. He wouldn't get my vote. He wouldn't get my vote if that is his first idea on how to pay debt.
Mutua?
My brother. And then finally, no, I need to say this.
Okay.
We respect the rule of law. And our presidency will respect the rule of law. Right now, the hemp is classified as a narcotic. Under narcotics, it is illegal. That is the starting point. Hata tusiende mbali.
Okay.
And all Kenyans, and I know Kenyans looked abroad, and there's still quite some research on the effect of growing. But I think she needs to speak from a woman's position on that and how it has affected the young people. Just throw in, let her bring the soft part.
Well, for me, I think it would be an almost no. Especially where, especially
so
where
half
that...
Yes.
Yes, just probably half yes. But where the reasons of marijuana is concerned, I'm looking for a happy mother. It is currently illegal. I'm a mother. I'm currently looking out there for a happy mother who can boldly say the kid has been involved in it and is well. Right now, mothers are crying. Kids are admitted in Mathare. So I'm not seeing... I don't know if there's any mother who would accept to that, because our youth are going to be employed in the 100 acres he's proposing. So we are killing destiny. So on that bit, I wouldn't agree.
It is still on that bit that blogger Wandera is saying, what are the plans for the youth in this nation?
Oh, my brother, when we make the government, I refer to the definition by Abraham Lincoln of democracy. Of the people, for the people, and by the people. When we give the counties 40%, when the youth sit there in the number kumi and together with the wases and the mamas, my brother, employment will come from there. That's number one. Number two will be big on skills. Kenyan youth are educated. You know, the upcoming ones, what we need to do is give them skills. But number three is a credit. But you see, ours, don't mistake our concept. We are not talking the one of being the other one. And let me tell you, all these things are the same. We are talking now about the government at the Nyumba Kumi with enough resources. We are not just talking about resources, but the people making decisions about those resources are still from the top, the Midoses, the Mabwenyenye. It is no. It is Wanjiko at the number kumi mtaa. Hapa tumepewa milioni 20. You know?
Yeah.
It is them to make the decision. It is them even to sign for the tenders. The tenders even up to now and the counties are given to selective people. It is there for them to decide who should be given the tenders at that level.
Okay. Let's bring up some of your feedback that's coming through. Let's squeeze them in as before we wind up here. Sisiko says, what is your suggestion on the current education system and what change would you bring about? Are you okay with the CBC?
The CBC is trying to say something, but it has become a burden on the parents and the children. It's also become an expense. But it's going somewhere. It reminds me of my school days. I used to run to school carrying a hoe for what we used to call a subject known as agriculture. I used to run to school carrying a a panga, a sword for what we used to call hard work. And we would make mwikos and that sort of thing. By the time I went to a secondary school where we had technical, it was not technical.
Yeah.
And I can use a saw, I can use a plane, you know. And those are important because it's not everybody who is endowed in mathematics. What we need to do and what we will not do, I cannot talk of abolishing. It has become a burden, like for the children, for the parents whose children are in standard 7 going on to 8, because it's been heavy on expense and what you need to do. I think we need to sit and look at this thing, rework it, and then we need to space it so that it's not one of those decisions you do immediately. But we should also not lose the fact that whatever format it takes, it should still tarry with the international acceptable standards of education, so that our children and grandchildren can still be able to go to the US. Those in the US can come to Kenya. They can be able to go to UK. But right now, it doesn't sound to me. Then finally, it's expensive on the parents. So we will sit down, we will look at it again. We work with the parents, the researchers, the stakeholders, the Minister of Education, and I think the intentions were well intended. To just say, hii kitu, but it's been heavy on parents and the students. It's been expensive. The cost of living is not helping. The difference is neither helping. All right, let's bring up some of you. Or you wanted to jump into this?
No, I wanted to jump in and add a bit first on the youth. The unfortunate part of having, from the last census, we have 39% unemployed youth, which is an average of 5.4 million out of the 14 million census done on the youth. So for us, we want to promote kazi mashinani. We want to revamp it, kazi mashinani, the informal sector, so that the people out there are able to have something to do and they get paid. And also probably for the formal, the corporates, is to ensure the expectation and the experiences for the youth getting into employment is lowered. We are asking for 3-4 years of experience. Where do they get it from? So they have to pull cards for 3 years, then try and get employment, but they don't have experience. So for the youth, we are looking out for that. And we will address unemployment because we are opening and we are enlarging the gap between the poor and the rich.
Let's bring up some of the conversation. Let's wind up on that. I think they're about how many more tweets do we have? Dr. Sylvester says, on matter sports, what are they planning for our sportsmen in case they get the presidential seat? Let's bring up the next one as you ruminate on the sports one. Let's bring up the next one here. You say, what's their take on regional marginalization and tribalism, and how would they solve it if they clinch the presidency? So there's sports, there's tribalism, what else? So there's sports, tribalism, and let's see. Hi, Trevor, please ask David, are they also going to provide free education from primary to university? Free education from primary to university. And then there's Jeff Kiaraho says, I'd like to ask Mr. Wahiga how he plans to reduce Kenya's current debts and reduce the government over the roof recurrent expenditure. I think he had answered that earlier on. So there's expenditure, there's tribalism, whether you're going to give free education all the way. Speak to that.
Free education, yes, all the way. It's part of our plan.
Primary to university.
All the way to the university. We've got what it takes. We'll, of course, have to space it. It will be gradual, even as we recover our monies, as we generate more money. Because we want also to make industrialization, cottage industries, and being an export country, not import, key.
Tribalism?
Yes. You know, Trevor.
Yes.
We are tribal because we have got economic difficulties. We have made umaskini, poverty, part of our lives. Why is it that we go to school when we are in school, when we are in high school, and even before elections, we don't see our tribalism? It may be exercised in some places, maybe in promotions in the civil service. Why is it? Let's not demonize our tribes. They are rich and they are good. It is leadership. It is leadership, Trevor. So what do I expect? There's a lot of education in this thing. I didn't mention about education in corruption, in the fact that we are one, in thinking like Look, how have they done it in, did the Mwalimu Nyerere do it? Those are the concepts we bring. I'm not talking about Ujamaa. But it's a different Ujamaa, if you wish.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's not the word we are using. For us, it is badilisha.
Okay.
Badilisha.
And sports?
So we should be able to do that. Sports, I don't know what my sister would say to it, but talents.
Yeah.
Talents in Kenya, apart from sports. We will finance that ministry. Okay. There are two ministries that will be very key. Sports and they want to do with culture, but they'll be broad because in culture is where we'll again bring a lot of education on relationships, on our values, on the fact that it doesn't matter how our skins look like, and we have different colors and skins, most of them being dark.
Yeah.
Look, we are as good. We've got what it takes. We've got a rich nation. We've got sun 365 days, rain. We are in the middle of the world. We've got a good name out there. Let's build on that. Okay. We are the best from Africa on Olympics. Okay. We can make it.
Mutua, in just 2 minutes, first 100 days, what is your commitment to the Kenyan people? Then I'll come to Mwaure. First 100 days.
First 100 days, we want actually from day 2 to sweep out and to have all the files of corruption on our table. We want to sweep up and clean up the mess that has been there. It's a lot. It's bulky. So I believe by the time we're finishing the first 500, we shall have achieved things like the education funding, where we want to give free education until the university. So for us, our main agenda first is to clear up the mess that has been done, and ensure, ensure we are able to steer on. Okay. Yes.
First 100 days, Mwaure?
Second day, like she said, we want all the files, and we want to know who has the money and ask them, give them an option. If they don't bring it within that period, we will institute a committee. We are looking at, if we can't get prosecution through the normal way, we want to institute a commission of what we are calling truth and recovery. Okay. Kenyans will tell us if you don't do it willingly. Number 2, she has mentioned a couple of things, my colleague here, but the other thing is we want to start a process of bringing down the cost of living. We want to start the process of, there is this other one that was in my mind, we want to look at our taxation again, even as we look at how we can start, we can increase on industrialization. We want within 100 days to very quickly, and we will send emissaries abroad where our 6 trillion is held. That money is in friendly countries, but there has been no goodwill here to get it back. So we will have a number of things we'll be doing. Okay. We have a number, but corruption and not visiting it, recovering our monies, bringing down the cost of living. Employment, of course, is long-term, even the education one.
All right.
But we intend to do what we are saying.
All right. Presidential team, we have to leave it at that. David Mwaure Wahiga, presidential candidate for Agano Party, and Ruth Mucheru Mutua, who's a presidential running mate for Agano Party. Thank you so much for making time for us. 57 days to the elections. Like we always say, you're the one who gets to decide at the end of the day. My name is Trevor Mbija. On behalf of everybody else who made this show a success, I want to thank you for always being our listener and our viewer as well. Good night and bye for now.